Welcome to Warcraft Reloaded, a podcast brought to you by Mash Those Buttons, covering World of Warcraft Classic and its community. I am Bobby, also known as Blazin' Bob, and today we are joined by Mel, aka Mellerina. How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I wasn't here last week. Of course, the week you have on really cool guests, But this week, I think I came on the right week.
Hey,
only hot guest.
I said I came on the right week.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, she did miss it was my first opportunity. I think it would have been her first opportunity to interview employees from Blizzard. So it was a really special episode for us, and it was a bummer that she had to miss it, but it's okay. It's okay.
Cool.
But we this week, no Ryan. He took a vacation. He had to take a break from WoW. He had to get away from the computer. He thought about using a laptop, but then decided that he better take a week off of WoW. So that's what he did. But in his stead, we brought on two special guests returning to the show. First off, we have Ayle, aka Ayle Gaming. How you doing?
Doing great. Really glad to be here and repping the Horde again.
Yep. Well, it's going to be nice. Yeah, it's going to be nice. We have another Horde here in Melderon, aka Def and Mel TV. How you doing?
Great. Tired. Very tired.
I think we all are. Well. I think content creators for Classic in general are super tired. Because, lots of YouTube stuff just dried up, the instant that it came out because everybody's tried to play and not getting stuff out. But we don't do that here. The show must always go on. Oh, but yeah. Okay. So let me get into what we're going to be doing this episode. We're going to go, we're going to do the regular housekeeping. My dog's freaking out. Sorry about that. We're going to, talk about what we've been doing lately in WoW, and we'll talk about some Vargflocken and Eden raid progress. Then we'll do the news. There's some pretty cool news coming across the board, and a new Blizzard survey, which will be really interesting to get you guys' thought on Fresh Classic. Then at the end, we're going to talk about the state of PvP in TBC Classic 2021, and we brought on Horde guests that have been living the nightmare so that we can get some back and forth and really generate some conversation. So with that said, let's jump right in. And I always want to remind everybody, we do stream live on Twitch at twitch.tv/mashthosebuttons. If you ever want to check us out live, see the bloopers, and just talk and chat. Sometimes chat gets read on the show. So please do that. Then second off, we had two new reviews, and since Ryan's not here, I think Mel should read them. Do you feel comfortable with that, Miss Mel?
Reading? That sounds difficult, but
struggle through it.
I'll struggle through it. Okay, is this one from? Oh, it is Apple Podcasts. It's just from Norway,
yes.
But it looks different. So we got a 5-star. It says fun and informative. See, I'm messing it up already. It's fine. It says great WoW Classic podcast. The three hosts work really well together. It's great for insight and discussions on what it's like to be a semi-hardcore player in WoW Classic. Really look forward to each week's episode. Thank you, Tofu Drift.
Thank you.
I like that they call us semi-hardcore.
I like sweaty casual. I like that.
Yeah, that's probably more accurate. And then we got one from Lou Vegas, and he gave us 5 stars and said, my favorite WoW podcast. He said, I thoroughly enjoy this podcast as Bob, Ryan, and Mel, I'll try not to take offense to that, really mesh well and do a superb job informing and entertaining the people of Azeroth. I am a truck driver and spend 10 to 11 hours driving each day. I listen to multiple WoW-related podcasts, and this is by far my favorite. I recently returned to WoW since leaving in 2012. I found your podcast in a Google search, and it's nice that it's relevant to all levels of players. I'm an ultra non-sweaty casual player, but limited time to play, as I'm married with teenagers and work 60 to 70 hours each week. because of my limited time, I decided to boost. Glad you guys aren't too harsh on us. And choose a PvE server. I didn't want to spend my limited time on a constant corpse run or spend a year leveling to 58. I'm an older dude and started on TBC the first go around and love experiencing the nostalgia. I spend way more time listening to WoW than playing, and it's been great to find this podcast. I think I'm going to go back and binge from your first episode because I enjoy it so much. I look forward to listening to more, even if you are Sweaty Alliance. Thanks. Remember the Sunwell. Justice for Ogamar Hammer.
Justice for
Ogamar
Crib Doob Hammer.
Okay.
Nice.
Come on, there's no spaces. Like
That's
not
the Blood Elf voice line, right? Remember the Sunwell?
see their
Yeah.
horde.
Remember the Sunwell.
Zug Zug was his last one.
Zug Zug.
Fiasco from Windseeker.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
guys.
Fiasco.
Yes, thank you so much for the review. That one was a long one, but we appreciate it, and it really it warms our hearts and makes this all worthwhile. So thank you guys so much for that. I'd like to remind everybody, we'll have it in the notes, the links, but you can go to WoW Esports on Twitter. Make sure to sign up for the TBC Classic Arena Tournament. $30,000 in cash prizes, half going to EU, half going to the NA servers. So check it out. You can use any gear. Remember, if you want to know more about it, you can always check out last week's episode, but you definitely want to get in on that. The more people that do, the more likely we'll have more in the future. So don't let that opportunity go by.
You're supposed to be good at PvP to do that, though, right?
No, you don't have to be. You just have to have 3 people and sign up. Although you could also join the Discord as a free agent and find a team. So that is an option too. So definitely check that out.
I'm going to put out an ad that's like, Mel, Holy Priest, not good at PvP. Somebody please invite me.
Want to buy carry.
Yeah, want to buy boost.
All right, well, let's get into what we've been doing in WoW lately. I think Mel and I will go first because we haven't gotten to hear like you guys' journey to 70 or anything either. So we'll just
Ours
go
is short and sweet.
We'll just go quickly in front. So we've been doing a ton of heroics with I call them our Canadian crew. It's 3 really nice. Well, nice is maybe not the word for it, but three Canadian guys that appear
They're
to
not
be
as
nice.
nice as Ayle.
But the
They're kind of
underlying,
ruining your rep
yeah,
there.
the underlying meaning of a lot of stuff they say, you're like, oh, that was a dig at me, wasn't it? It was just very, very well played. I don't know, but yeah, we've been doing that. We've been getting a ton of badges, doing the daily every day. I do have a question for you guys real quick now that I just said daily. What was your daily yesterday and the day before? We're curious if it's the same on every server.
It was today and the day before, or yesterday and the day before?
Yesterday and the day before.
Yesterday was Blood Furnace, and the day before that was not Blood Furnace, but I can't remember what it was.
Okay, so they are different across servers, or at least different across Horde and Alliance, because for us it was Arcatraz. Okay, so I was just curious
Now
about
today
that.
was Blood Furnace, so it was Blood Furnace. Like yesterday was Blood Furnace, and today was Blood Furnace.
Today for us is Black Morass, so it's definitely different. That's cool. That's cool to know. All right.
Yeah.
So we've been doing that. I wanted to tell you where they are from, Ale, but they gave me specific instructions to say they're not rednecks. So, do you have a guess of where they're from? Because they said make sure to say that we're the few that aren't rednecks.
I mean, it sounds like they're from some sort of a metropolitan area, so I would have to guess probably like a Vancouver, Calgary, or Toronto, or something like that.
Calgary, Alberta.
Bingo.
That's
Oh,
great.
I get it, not rednecks. Yeah, so Calgary is like the Texas of Canada, basically.
That's
so,
what they said. That's what they
Yeah.
said. That's hilarious. Okay, cool. All right, well,
that's exactly what rednecks would say. Actually, no, it wouldn't be.
It is though, right?
I don't know. Texans
Might
would be proud. You like normally. I'm from Texas.
They're lifted trucks with truck nuts and diesel, yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, we've been doing that. Pretty much every day, doing the good old. I'm sure everybody does the 10-minute slave pen heroic run, and then we've been also starting to work up our second characters. Been working up my warrior, and Mel's been working up her druid. And shout out to K Nupp. That's KNUPP on Whitemane, Horde undead rogue. It's gotta feel bad, bro, to lose to my 61 warrior when you're level 70. Maybe you shouldn't gake in Hellfire Peninsula, but just saying, it's gotta feel bad.
Well, PvP, it must be nice.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad. All right, but
it's nice-ish.
That's
out.
that's really all I've got. Mel, do you have anything else?
Yeah, so my tailoring had already been worked up, so that's good. I did make I have my shoulders and something else. What is my other best piece that I can tailor?
Ooh,
375.
It's like belt, isn't it?
the belt.
Yeah, I have my shoulders and belt. I haven't gotten the patterns for my helm or robe
Pants.
or pants, all three. No, I have my robe. I just don't have the primals. But yeah, hoping to get those. And then I did level my enchanting high enough to put my ring enchants on, so that was nice.
Nice.
And then I leveled herbalism and alchemy on my druid, which I looked at a guide and it said level to like, I don't know, 315 in Hellfire. And then it said go to Nagrand and level there. And so I'm 60. And I was like, oh, okay. And so like I'm trekking it to Nagrand. Like,
As a level
I get there
60.
and I'm like, why did I do this? Why am I here? So I picked up some flight paths, and then I realized, why am I leveling this right now? And I know why I am, because I want to make my own potions for my priest on raids and stuff. But it's going to be so much easier when I have flight form, and that's literally the reason I made my druid the herbalist. So it's fine. We'll get there. But I leveled alchemy on that one too, so I can make all of my potions. I probably just won't be able to herb all of the regions, but it'll still be cheaper.
Nice. Well, for our guests, like, how was your guys' journey to 70? Like, why don't you guys just take the floor?
Couple no sleep one night. What do they call those? All-nighters?
All-nighters.
Yeah.
I think I had 2 of those. Slept during the day a little bit. It's been, we did week 1 Kara, so we had to get up to 70 quickly. So that's been rough. It's like, so maybe I should what I haven't done. So the only thing I haven't done is I have to cap my blacksmithing and cap my fishing. Other than that, I've pretty much got every reputation exalted.
Fishing is the death
nice.
of me.
Yeah,
I hate fishing.
Fishing is terrible. But it's makes some gold.
I know.
Yeah.
Leatherworking, got this leatherworking set. I've done every quest available in the game right now.
Mel and I
Yeah, you make
almost
so
have
much
that
money.
done. We're
Wow.
so close. We're on like the last like 15 quests.
I even have the Tempest Keep key already.
We're
How much,
almost
money
there too.
earn you?
Yeah, we
Sorry, say
have
it
one
again?
more quest.
How much money has that earned you guys from questing? Just
It's
curious.
so much.
It's hard to
Well,
say,
we
but just
dungeon-
yeah.
Like,
We
Okay.
dungeon leveled like you guys probably did to, well, we did it to I think 69, and then we quested because we were just so done with
Yeah.
repetitively running the dungeons.
I think the estimate's 2,500 to 3,000 gold now.
Well, but that's
If you do
you're
at 70.
well,
Yeah.
no, if you're 70, I mean, shoot, Mel and I, we made
been way more than that for us.
we did all the Netherstorm quests and made 1,300 gold in just raw gold, and then not to mention
really?
all the blues and greens we disenchanted. If we would have sold them, it would have been probably another 700-800 gold for just that zone, but we disenchanted them for even more money, and it was just, I mean, I was able to buy my entire spell strikes, head and pants. Like, I mean, it's the money is unreal. But yeah, we're close to almost every quest too. Not every rep. We're like Honor Hold and Shatar Exalted, and then close on the other ones.
I even got Aldor, Maghar, which is your Kurine, and then Consortium. I knocked those out too because I'm kind of made when it comes to reps, so I did all those. Like Aldor, there's this place called Legion Hold, if anybody doesn't know. It's in Shadowmoon Valley. I don't know about the Alliance side, but on the Horde side, it's one of the first quests you have to do is go up there and use like a communication device. Well, there's these warlocks that just keep spawning over and over again, and they drop Marks of Sargeras and Fell Armaments. And honestly, I went from like revered, I was like 0 revered pretty much, to exalted in like 3 to 4 hours of just farming those guys.
Yeah.
So if anybody's at Aldor,
Bob and I's problem is that he's Scryer and I'm Aldor.
oh yeah,
So
that sucks. But I think Aldor, I think Scryer, like I think like would be there's like a mountain pass in Shadowmoon where you kill that dude on the Hawkstrider. There's like thousands of mobs there. I think that's your place for that.
Yep. Yeah. I've been camping just a little bit, or I've been farming just a little bit north of that if I'm solo. Yeah. But if I'm with Mel, we could definitely do the elites and stuff down there too. And we did all the stuff for the Tabard. We're almost have our Tempest Keep key. Like we've been doing all that.
But that one quest is still bugged in Shadowmoon, right? Is it bugged for you guys?
I don't know. Either that or we don't know how to do it. It's the one. It's the one named after Terran Gregory, Terran Gorfiend.
Oh, the Divination Armor, that one?
Yeah.
Did you get the armor yet? Did you kill the dragon?
Yes, we killed the dragon. But when we take over the dude, there's like nothing to do. Like we have a pet bar, but it's all grayed out.
Oh, that happened to somebody in my group too. But for me, it worked right away.
Tried it twice, so I don't know.
Interesting. Maybe try without add-ons.
Oh, that's a good call. Maybe that. Yeah, that is a really good call. Okay.
Big brain ale. Big brain.
Did you level in dungeons mostly?
I don't know if Ayle did. I did about 60-40 quests to dungeons. So 60% quests, 40% dungeons. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I really like questing. That's why.
We do too. We love it, man.
Yeah.
I did the like. I was the opposite. I was like 60 dungeons, 40% questing. I basically did my Thrallmar rep, which is honor hold, my Cenarian rep, and then I did Lower City, basically to honor on all my character on my character, and then besides that I quest. So basically that means like 60 to 64. I was dungeoning, then I quested to like 66, then I leveled to 68, just spam set the calls, and then after that I quested again. So it was actually a really good mix, and I really enjoyed that. And I got like 3 really good reps up really high. So
yeah, we just sat there looking at the screen as we like reset the dungeon over and over and over again, all the way to like 68, 69, and then we were just like, we're done.
Mel misspeaks a little bit. We went to 62 the first night. Then when our tank went to bed, we went and did all of the quests in Hellfire, got another level and like 8 grand rep. Then did the same thing the next night, did a whole bunch of quests for another level. Then from 68 to 70,
sleep deprived
we did
that
quests.
I didn't remember exactly what we did.
So we were probably 60-40 too.
There's actually one quest I haven't done that I'm thinking about it. It's the Consortium. It's the final quest where you have to it's RNG. You have to turn in 5 Ethereum prison keys and get a special key. You use a special key to open up things in Blade's Edge. Those guys have a chance of dropping this Nexus King thing, and that allows you to summon the special boss in Mana Tombs. I haven't done that.
It's a pain in the ass. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
We did that one, didn't we?
Yeah. That's how we got halfway through to Exalted. We actually got lucky. Like we didn't even realize it was we didn't realize it was a tough thing until hearing about it from other people.
Yeah. I don't know how many times it's going to take me, but I have 2 of the special keys, so I'm hoping that it'll drop on one of those. Because the ring's actually really good. The rings are actually really good to drop off him. They're like period bis, at least for enhancement.
Is that in the dungeon? The rings drop, you mean? Or
yeah, so you summon he's like this 5th boss or whatever in Mana Tomb. I don't know how many bosses are in Mana Tomb. So he's an extra boss. He's like there's like that pink sphere, and you click on it if you have this special key. I don't know. I guess you can farm it over and over again, right? Because I don't know if that's a one-shot thing per player or if it's.
I think it turns into a daily, but I do know you can farm the keys and then farm the prisons
Nexus
over and over again.
Right, the wrap and stuff.
I've actually never seen anybody actually summon that boss. So when you do get it, let me know because I would like to just see it. I've never done it.
Yeah. I'll probably get it after I get the rings from Karen. I don't need it anymore, but
Yeah.
that's
So
yeah.
yeah. So for myself, I've actually leveled 2 characters to 70 already,
Damn.
and I needed to get my second character up
2?
because 2, yeah, and I had to get my second character up basically to do arena, and the plan is that I have my main character. I'm main tanking for Eden, and my old character, my mage, is going to be my arena main basically, and because the arena season started on the third week, like the third Tuesday or whatever. Like I had first week was warrior, leveled him up, did heroics, bunch of things like that. Second week was mage, and then I've been playing mostly mage ever since actually because I had an incredible string of luck in Karazhan. I got like 6 or 7 tank pieces drop, which basically made it so I didn't have to farm out a lot of stuff that I was going to have to on my warrior. So I almost have a full set of epic tank gear on my warrior, just like really
Nice.
good.
He's beefy.
That's awesome.
15k
That's helpful
HP
for
unbuffed,
everybody, I feel like. Right?
Mhm.
If the tank could be the first one geared, I feel like that would just help everybody.
It's huge. It's
essentially.
huge for the raid. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been doing, and besides that, been suffering through the PvP grind. It's awful. It's really
Yeah.
awful. If there's
It's
no other
bad.
way to describe it, it's like
Yeah, we're good. We're
it's like
we're definitely going to jump into that a lot here at the end of the show. So, be interesting to hear you talking to me yesterday.
Takes about 3 days of like semi constant queuing to get 20,000 honors Horde right now.
So it's, wow.
I think I think it's more than that. I was getting 300 honor per hour yesterday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Is that 'cause you keep
300.
losing?
No, I was winning.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, it's that bad.
It's just 40 to 60 minute queues for all battlegrounds. It's just you get one-ish BG per hour, right? So
Ours are pretty instant, if that makes you feel any better.
well, yeah, no, it's the limiting reagent is alliance players.
Yep.
So
All right. Well, what about your raid progress? You guys been doing good there?
Yeah, we cleared all phase 4 content. And we are let's see, we cleared Kara first week. I think we cleared Gruul our second week, is that right?
no,
And
we
then
did it
third on third.
first week as well.
Oh, we did first week Gruul. We did another guild, that's right. I forgot.
Mhm.
We combined with another guild, joined forces. And I think we got Mag week week 2 was Mag or week 3? I can't remember.
Last week.
So that's week 3.
Week 3. Yeah.
Wow, you guys are like right this like the same with us. We did a first week Kara, and then the second week we did Kara on 3 different raids, and we did Gruul, but then we weren't able to drop Mag. But we did a hard cutoff. We didn't try to stay late to get Mag. But then the next week we dropped Mag. Really, like what felt like easy. Like I think a lot of people just got there, grinded out
all
their
about
best
phase 1.
stuff. Yeah, I mean it's really just like blowing through that quick can make the fight so much easier. And then phase 2 is just like just make sure you guys click and don't click off until everybody's got them. And that's basically it. And yeah, that's very similar to us. What's it take you to run Kara now?
We had 3 groups running. We still have to balance them, I think, a little bit. I think how long did it take your group to get done this week, Al?
Yeah, we did everything including Nightbane in 2.5 hours, and we had 1 wipe as well. So we were rolling.
Nice.
Yeah, our group, we couldn't get Nightbane this week. So basically, I've killed Nightbane because we started with 1 Kara group, then 2, and now we're up to 3. So my group was a little behind, so we couldn't get Nightbane this week. But we're planning on all 3 raids to get Nightbane this week coming up. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we have yet to drop Nightbane. We're doing our Kara runs in about 2 hours and 15 minutes without Nightbane, but then I think there's a Monday group running with Yip when he gets back in town, and I think they're gonna try Nightbane, but we haven't really even attempted it except for one of the 10-man raids has tried it.
I think it's the hardest fight in the game right now.
Unless
I would
you
say.
have, 5 hunters, right?
Right, but technically, it's a phase 5. It's a tier 5 boss, right? So it's part of the attunement for Superstar Cavern, right? Yeah, Superstar Cavern.
Yep.
So technically, it's supposed to be that level of boss, and you can tell it is. Like Mags is hard until you figure out how to do phase 1, then it's a cakewalk. Like Nightbane is is like if you okay, so the ground phase is pretty simple, but as soon as he goes up into the air, we found a really good strategy is like the main tank. We all stack on the main tank briefly for the ads to spawn. Then we separate again. All the range leaves, even the melee leaves, because they have that aura. So let's pretend Ayle's the main tank. Ayle tanks all the ads, and then we have an off tank pull one out of the group, mark it with the skull, and burn it down. Pull the next one, mark it with the skull, burn it down. And it's me as melee. I just run in for a few hits and run out because they do so much damage, that aura, that just taxes the healers. And then what usually happens is Def Camp, let's say, because this is like how our first kill, this is what happened. Def Camp was second on threat or whatever, and he got annihilated by those like beams that come down.
Dude,
What is it called?
priest threat is
Smoking
real.
bones. Yeah.
Yeah, smoking bones.
So we figured out a way. We like the first week we had to 3 heal it. And then the second week we were able to 2 heal it. But it's the hardest fight in the game, I think.
It really helps to have a paladin in that fight for tanking, as well as being able to bop the smoking bones off. It's massive.
So
Yeah.
what classes do you guys have as your tanks? Do you have paladins or druids?
We have
or
one
anything?
paladin tank. We have one paladin tank. So we're talking about Kara groups, right? So like our Kara groups are 2 warriors, 2 druids, and 2 warriors, 3 druids, and a paladin. That's our Kara group.
That's close.
That's a 6. Yeah.
We've got two pallies, 2 druids, and 2 warriors, but we ran 2 pallies in our group last week, and the one pally just stayed ret. And for Nightbane, or not Nightbane, Nether Spite, Nether Storm.
Yeah, Nether Spite's the other dragon. Yeah.
Yeah, he just switched to tank gear, and it didn't work the first time, but then it worked the second time. So I mean, he was just ret the whole time, so it wasn't even a tank.
With the pally tank, you don't necessarily need that off tank for most fights.
Yeah.
But
Nether Spite, you need 1, and Nightbane, you need 1. Basically, I think that's it, right, Al? 2 tank fights. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it ended up working out. But yeah, have you noticed if there's better, like if overall, which class is better for tanking?
It depends on the situation. Go ahead, Al. Yeah, you're saying.
Yeah, it's pretty tough for us to tell right now because like I got so geared that like I think I'm just generally better because I take no damage. Like it's even in heroics and things like that where our other tanks haven't had as good a luck on gear. So at least from there, it seems like I can take more hits than our other tanks currently. It seems like druids are better on threat, maybe. But yeah, I think they're all viable. They're all pretty good, and they all have their strengths. So
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I'm biased saying I'm the best, but
Ayle's active and passive mitigation is unbelievable. Like whether he's shield blocking or even passive mitigation, it's crazy.
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, druids don't have that, right? So they have mitigation, just not like a warrior. And then paladins, at least in my experience, like I've seen, they're getting slapped right now. I think it's because either they're not geared, or I think once they get to a certain level, they're like really, really good. I don't know, but like, so our paladin was like, he wasn't like one of our first guys at 70, so I think there's a little bit of a gear disparity for him. But like Nightbane came down and just one shot him, like just boom, put him in the ground. In my group. So, but on the other end, Ayle's like not taking damage. so it's like it depends.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting because people have actually said that a little bit about paladins is that they start out kind of weaker because the gear just isn't there.
Yeah,
and like their blue set isn't quite as good and things like that. Like once they start getting like more mitigation and things like that, and like I think they said like T5 is really good for them.
They kind of take over.
Yeah. Well, for ours, we just have a really knowledgeable one that knew the right pieces to get. I mean, he's tried to stack. I'm pretty sure it's shield block to become uncrushable, and I think he's hit his mark for uncrushable already. Don't quote me on that. I wish Yip was here to say that.
He has. He said he had. I thought.
Okay, well, yeah, and so it makes it a lot. It makes him a lot better. And I think a lot of pallies are just like trying to learn exactly how they need to gear, and they think there's very specific pieces that are needed. And so it's going to be interesting seeing them start to get a lot better as time goes on. You still can't beat them in heroics, though.
Nah, they're
We
amazing.
did. We did level with our pally tank, right? And he was great because he knew all of the fights too. So he would just say like, "Here's this." And then I'm going to pull this entire room and we're going to, AoE him down. And we did that all the way up to 68, 69. Yeah. That was helpful.
I think that one of the issues is paladins are a little worried about threat. So what they do is they gem a lot of spell power. And I think that hurts them on some fights like Nightbane. Because, your threat's important, right? But Nightbane is going to just put you in the ground if you don't have enough mitigation. So it's like, I think that's another weird thing with paladins. And of course, every tank has that. Every tank has a threat set and a mitigation set, right? But I think the disparity is more for paladins because it's their gems. It's like they even have spell power weapon. Like not that affects mitigation, but it's
yeah,
definitely. Well,
I'm so far over the defense cap now that like I can really like start mixing, matching stuff in, and but yeah, like I'm so jealous of paladins and their AoE threat because they can you don't have to CCU for them, and a lot of times it's just pull it all or big packs and.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so different running a heroic or a dungeon with a paladin versus like a warrior or druid. They're like, all right, sheep this one. We're gonna do this to this one, and the paladin's like, all right, let's go. Like,
I gotta say though, for our heroic group, we've been running 2 locks, 1 mage, priest, and druid tank, and I mean a lot of the packs in the heroics we could just we could just blizzard and seed, poppity pop, and everything's dead, and then if not, we just have a sheep, we have a mind control if we really needed, we have two seduces. It's been pretty gravy running all the different heroics. We haven't done them all yet, but we've done a lot.
I love how Bob says, yeah, we slow seed, pop. It's easy. And I'm over here on my priest.
You're healing.
Oh my God, everybody's dying.
Bob pulls aggro because of the seeds.
Yeah, the warlocks are life capping. The druids like going down in health. And they're like, well, we just need a heal because, we have to do this or something. I'm like, our tank is about to die.
Yeah, regular dungeons though, like Shattered Halls to get Honor Hold, like he'd just pull an entire room of 26 mobs, and then as soon as Blizzard hit, it's just seed, and then it just everything dies. Glorious way to get rep.
It's amazing. Seed's amazing.
But
if used properly.
Yes, if used properly. Yeah. For our raid progress, it's pretty much exactly the same as Yip told it last week. The only thing I could add is I'm proud of myself this week. I got my first 99 parse in Kara. Got a 96 also. And then I was on the bench for Gruul and Mag last night, but luckily I paid off a rogue to, not show up. And so I got called off the bench, and I parsed a 94 on Mag. And since I came off the bench, I wasn't even in the
group.
Yeah, so I was missing the plus hit, had to change out my gear.
Oh, wow.
Was missing that 101 spell power, still parsed a 94, so I was proud of that.
Do you guys run 5 shaman?
We did last night. We have been running 4 though.
Yeah, I was just wondering because you require you had the class. So we all have paladins are our class that had a harder time getting to 70 in years as shaman. I was wondering if you had enough shaman to get to 70. That was just because we need less of that class than you guys do, right? You need 4 to 5 shaman. We only need 2 to 3 paladins. So it's like a disparity there. I was just wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, we
We
actually
have 5 comments.
we do, but we only bring 4. We only bring 4, and I was in a a chamois group, but he was a resto chamois, so I just didn't have those extra DPS buffs. I had the
Well, you had
one
Totem of Wrath, the 101 spell power. No, sorry, Wrath of Air totem.
Wrath of Air.
There's 2 totems. There's
Oh,
Wrath.
okay.
There's Totem of Wrath, which is the 3-hit 3 crit, and then there's Wrath of Air totem, which is 101 spell power and heal.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that would have
Every
been
shaman gets that one.
Okay.
But only elemental shaman get the 3-hit 3 crit.
that
Yeah.
would have been good to know, because I, instead of standing in his totems, because I thought I didn't really get much. This is me being dumb. I was standing on the other side of the room where I had to click my my box for my turn on mag.
right.
So I didn't even run back over and get that benefit. That sucks. So I could have been like
Lost
maybe
100
a,
spell power.
could have
Yeah,
been
yeah.
maybe a 96 or a 97. Oh, well, at
But
least
we're still in the phase where we don't remember things about. So, I literally a piece of gear dropped, and I was like, "Well, no one can use this." And there's a paladin in my group, and I'm like, "He's like, oh, I can use it." I'm like, "Oh shit, dude, I'm sorry." Like, it wasn't like, I was like, "All right, open roll," and he's like,
Yep.
No, I need that. So
Yeah,
I forgot. Yeah,
We dungeon rated or dungeon leveled with a chamois too, which was super weird, right? And they just literally removed all the mechanics of the dungeon. Like fear
Yeah.
wasn't an
Bloodlust.
issue.
Yeah.
We're talking to these other
no,
groups,
no,
and they're
we're
just
talking
like,
about grounding
being-
totem. We're talking
Oh,
about
that too. Yeah.
we're talking
Yeah.
about earthbind totems, so that the
cures
the
diseases, and I'm like,
the
you can put down a
pally
freaking
tank-
totem, and I have to push a button every time.
Yeah.
Get out of here! You're doing diseases.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we have poison cleansing. Yeah, it's poison and disease. And then
Yeah.
of course there's bloodlust, right? So that's the that's
Oh my
the one that's
Yeah, that's why my dungeon leveling experience was so boring as a lock, because the chamois and the tank and the healer were having a good time, but I was literally standing in the middle of Consecrate while our pally tank kited in a circle with Earthbind totem while I did Hellfire.
Yeah.
Just sitting there doing Hellfire the whole time. Like, it was just like, this is so boring. Oh man. All right, well,
Shums are strong. Yeah.
they are.
let's go ahead and move on into the news. So first off, I'm hoping one of you can take over and tell people about this, because I don't really understand the way they talked about the arena matchmaking system details. I thought maybe Ayle, you might have a little bit more insight on that than I would.
Sure. Was that the post where they're trying to explain kind of
How-
the different
MMR.
meetings,
Yeah,
stuff
how
like that?
personal MMR works, team MMR works. It's the I've got the
I just
link.
linked it in the chat.
Yeah, so it's actually like a pretty complex system, because there's a lot of ratings at play. So simply, like, when you create your team, you start at 0, right? Previously in TBC, the first go around, you'd actually start at 1500, and they've made changes now, so you do get points even if you, like, anywhere from 0 to 1500. But there are multiple team ratings, there are multiple ratings. So it's even difficult to talk about. You have a team rating and a personal rating, and there's also a hidden kind of personal rating.
MMR. Yeah.
So those are all like 3 different numbers kind of at play. Your team rating is what gives you your points for the week. To get this, you have to be within 150 points of that. Your own personal rating on your team has to be within 150 of that. And you have to play at least 10 games and 30% of your team's games as well. So there's a lot that goes into it. Someone should probably make an add-on or something that's like a little checkbox or something when you've met the 5 different things. And then besides that, there's you have a hidden MMR rating that your character has. And I'm not sure if that is per bracket for like 2s, 3s, and 5s, if those are separate or if it's just one. But that basically determines how quickly when you win games, how much rating you actually get. That is combined with your team rating to determine when you win, you win, 10, 15, 20 points.
God, it's
hope
so
it's
confusing.
across.
Like, I just
Yeah.
wish it was I know they're doing this to try to stop boosting and stuff like that, is what I assume. But man, it's just so much more confusing than it was in TBC. Like in TBC, it was like, get that rating, you get those points. It's so confusing to me.
I mean, I
Yeah.
do think it probably helps the, arena as a whole in people being able to get what they deserve and get the right amount of points. I do think it's confusing. I think it's similar to Overwatch, right? Where you had this like hidden MMR that you had, but you also had a skill rating and you weren't sure why you were going up as little or as low as possible. And they do that so that people can't exploit it, right? If we knew exactly what went into that hidden MMR, everybody would start exploiting it because somebody would figure it out,
And
right?
also what was known in Overwatch as Smurfs, where you'd start a new account and then you would be really low rated, just dumpstering poor people in like the lower levels. And I think they're trying to stop that when people join new teams now, that they're not just destroying people at the bottom. I would assume that's what their goal is.
Yeah, it's with your hidden MMR, it's impossible to do that unless you actually make a new character, right? Because that
And then
MMR
level
stays
them
with
to
you.
70.
Mhm.
It's much harder in WoW than it was in Overwatch.
Way harder, yeah, because you don't really start at the same level or anything as anybody, and even then, you'd have to get the gear, and that would be a huge disadvantage as well. So yeah, it's not going to eliminate boosting. It just makes it much more punishing to the boosters. Because if they leave teams, they're not going to get points for that team. They have to level it all the way back up if they do join a team. So it's definitely a lot tougher for them. Like it's still going to happen. I've seen already, like the top players are already like looking to boost people. So
Yeah.
I've had some boost offers myself. I haven't taken them up on it, but I'm not going to lie.
No.
If I never get a weapon, I might.
We definitely did our 10 5v5 arenas. We lost 8 of them.
We were
Usually
all
pretty
okay.
instantly.
All right, just to like, in the open world, we do dumpster people, but in arena with the specs we have, it was 2 destro locks, a
Holy priest,
a holy priest,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
then a druid tank. And then we did have a mage who did some work, but I mean he can't do that much work.
Or that poor mage.
I know.
I mean it was basically our heroic dungeon group, and we just wanted points, so we just did it real quick. We didn't want to respec. We might have. It seems like the meta in 5s is like 2 heals. Like it seems pretty like
You see a lot of that.
Yeah,
Because I'm sitting over here as my 1 heal, and I'm like, guys, you got to get these people off of me. There's like,
I mean, the only 2 wins we had was other teams that did not have two heals. So it was just like,
I think you would have a lot more success doing 2s or 3s, to be honest. 5s is kind of a cluster. There's a lot going on as well, and honestly, like if you guys are doing it for points, I'd recommend doing the smaller ones.
We just
it was more
basically
convenient, because
like,
we were going to do heroics, and we were like, all right, let's get our 10 games in real fast, and then
didn't want to respect.
Because you have long queues on arena too.
No, it's everybody's putting the same one.
Oh, because you can do
You can fight the same faction, So we did like an insta-gib 5 team that actually worked pretty well. We did 2 BM hunters, enhancement shaman, myself, Navik as the rogue, and Def Camp as a disc priest. So basically what you do is you just run in bloodlust and kill someone. So it's like both hunters pop bestial wrath, I pop bloodlust, and then we just kill
bada bing bada boom.
Yeah, so we actually did 1. So that works with 1 healer, but you need to get that kill. If you don't get the kill, you're done. Yeah. Basically. And all the games we lost were against teams with a priest and a paladin healer, because of it's like a bot pain suppression combo, and it's like as soon as they do that, you have to switch targets. So you spend all this time hitting this guy, and now you have to switch targets, and by that time, someone on our team's dead because I'm the kill target usually, and it's everyone kills the shaman first, usually because of bloodlust and because of other reasons, totems, and we have no way of getting away. It's just one of those things where if I died first, the game was over, basically. So,
Right.
but we did pretty well. I think we did. We got to 16 something. Like we only did it for a couple hours, so we want to try it again, and then we're going to try choose with myself. I really want Glad because I never got it in TBC. I want to mount. I also need weapons for PvE. So like the PvP weapons for me are the best PvE weapons in phase 1 in this current content phase. So I would at least get the 1850. So I have to do that. So that's like if I want to parse, I have to get the weapons. So it's one of those things where
I don't think
it's
there's anything
possible.
that's
Shaman, though.
beneficial.
It's
for
possible
priest.
that I mean, definitely dis. It's like possible.
No, I'm
talk
saying I
Mel.
don't think there's any gear that I need to have my best in slot for PvE from PvP as a priest.
Gotcha. Well, for us, we might, after we save up some points, basically losing for a few weeks. If I haven't gotten a weapon, I'll probably try to talk Mel into doing a Dis Priest SLSL weekend where we get
powerful.
to 1850. But we'll just have to
Does
see.
Def Camp respect?
We,
Is he holy
all,
for raid?
we all respec every week, yeah. So I respec after. So basically, Wednesday with Thursday are raid nights. So after Thursday we respec, and then we don't spec back until the following Wednesday. So we stay PvP spec that entire time.
That's cool.
Which I can still run heroics and so can Def. Like this sucks in heroics, but we still were able to heal through it. And I lose about 10% DPS, but it's like we're still doing the heroics, right? So
Yeah.
if you're able to still do heroics, then there's really no point not to respec. I mean, it's 100 gold a week, but you can make 100 gold in TBC pretty easily.
I keep trying to talk Mel into going disc because I want power infusion. So
Not in a raid. Like there's no.
I know, but I want
way.
it so bad. But we're planning on doing a lot, but we're probably not going to be ready to actually compete until, to be honest, like season 2, because we're going to do the warrior druid combo, and we're working those characters up now.
It's a great comp.
Yeah, so that's our plan on PvP. We're just trying to get points now and just get maybe some fill-in gear. Like actually the bracers would actually be better than the ones I'm rocking now. I'm not looking to like PvP on the lock. But so all right, well, thanks for explaining the arena stuff to me. I still don't understand it. I think probably the listeners don't either, but you know what? We'll figure it out as we go, guys.
Just play games. There isn't really much you can do to abuse the system or anything. Just play as much as you can and respec and get the gear and try to give yourself as much an advantage. That's the best way to succeed, I find.
Cool. Well, in the next news, it was the hotfixes for June 21st. They are trying to, again, help the auction house. It's actually beautiful during not prime time, and it's still a little slow during prime time, but it's actually, it's usable now where it wasn't usable for like a week and a half.
Okay, so I'm curious though, because we are on a super populated server. I think your guys' is very populated, but only with Horde.
Just one faction.
Did you guys have the auction house issues that we had?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't realize. I didn't notice anything, to be honest.
Oh,
yeah.
So let me tell you.
Holy crap! Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would go and try to purchase something. It would take 7 to 9 minutes to even like load what I was searching for.
Oh wow, no, we didn't have that problem.
I would click purchase. It would take another 3 minutes till it accepted the bid. And I had to stay there because if I clicked it and purchased it and left, it would say error and then it wouldn't come.
Sometimes it would air out and say that someone already got it. Sometimes it would buy the wrong item because it didn't register your click. And that item disappeared. It was nuts.
It was a nightmare.
I can't believe you guys didn't have. Yeah. Okay, so maybe it was just the huge mega servers that had the.
Were you guys
problem.
at White Main?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's why.
Wow.
Yeah, Skyrim. But like the auction houses are intra faction, so I don't know. You think we would have had it because the amount of Horde we have, but apparently we had like I literally had zero problems. So when I saw that, I was like, what are they talking about? Like
Yeah.
when I saw the news post, I had no idea. Yeah.
Okay, so you know
Oh my
what
God, it's
what
a
that makes me
nightmare.
wonder? That makes me wonder if there's a difference in actual server hardware and infrastructure on the West Coast as opposed to the East Coast, because you are an East Coast server and we are West Coast.
I don't know if servers have infrastructure anymore. Maybe I'm wrong. Everything's like kind of virtual now, right? It's not.
Yes, but it could be a different virtual environment. That's actually what I
maybe
used to do for a living, but it could be a different, like it could be a completely different setup, but still using, say, VMware. Like they could be using the same program on different hardware.
Blizzard would never use cheaper stuff for Classic. Come on, guys.
No.
You know, they pulled out those old servers and just dusted them off, and hit start.
They said
Windows
they
95 server booted up. They're running Windows NT. I mean, it's great.
They would never do that.
No.
Oh, man. All right. And then in the other news, there has been a lot of bugs going on with the Tempest Key attunement. For anybody who doesn't know what that quest is, you should get the add-on Attune. It'll walk you through the whole thing, but it's to get the champion of the Naru title. They fixed the problem where you were getting the title constantly, but now it looks like they fixed the problem where you just got to the end and you couldn't get the key. Now something's been fixed. You can talk to a doll in Shattrath City and get your key. So looks like they've worked through that quest. They probably didn't expect as many people to do that as they've done so quickly.
Probably not. But it should have been available from the start, right? Because all those achievements were available in original TBC originally, right? So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's only a few people in our guild that are even as far as we are. I think a lot of people don't even know that they can be doing it now. So it'll be interesting to see how that, how that goes forward next. Because Mel and I just happened into it because we wanted to do every quest in the game after we hit 70, I
totally forgot that was how you got the key. And then I was like, oh, I need to do heroic slabs. Because it's slabs and the last part's like slabs and something else. And you do them both. I'm like, I gotta turn this quest, get some gold, and then Adal's like, oh yeah, here's the Tempest Key keep. I was like, oh shit, I totally forgot about that.
That's where Mel and I are at right now. We talked our heroic crew into doing the big green guy last night, right before bed. So now we need those 4 heroics, and the dishes are done, dude.
Nice. Yeah.
How do you start that quest for Tempest Keep?
I can't remember.
Oh gosh, the Attune app has it, but it's one of the quests in Shadow Moon, and then you go a lot of different places. I mean, a lot of it's in Shadow Moon, but I believe there's some that take you other spots, and like it's a long chain. It's if you look on Attune, it is classified on the left as the Eye. So if you click on the eye, it'll show you the entire route.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. I do have that add-on. It's amazing. It's really
so good. It's so good. Yeah, the creator of that add-on is actually a listener of the show and gives us a thank you every time we talk about it. And I'm like, dude, we talk about it because it's good.
It's amazing.
All right, so next is the Midsummer Fire Festival, and it's going in line with the Summer Olympics, and I had actually forgotten about this tabard completely. I had it in Burning Crusade. It's got the 5, it's white with the 5 Olympic rings on it, and I'd forgotten about this. Did you guys remember this event at all?
I remember it. Yep, I remember getting the tabard. I think it was for the Beijing Olympics, maybe. Could be wrong. 2008, I think it was.
Yep, 2008.
And I did get it on my characters in original. So kind of cool that it's happening again.
When is it starting?
It is started now. The quest should have popped up on Questy in Shattrath.
Okay, I'll have to pick it up.
2 or 3 new quests that have popped up, and then you do you do stuff in BEGs? I haven't looked into it completely. I will link it in the notes, but yeah, it's I don't think you can get the tabard after. Don't quote me. I could be wrong, but it's definitely something you should definitely do. It's a cool tabard with certain outfits. It is white, so oftentimes does that kind of clashes with things, but you know.
Yep. It's something to fill another bank slot.
Yep, exactly. Oh man. All right. So moving on to the next topic, or the next news is, I don't know if you guys dealt with this a lot, but I know Scotty J was complaining about it constantly, but it's the change to Feral Druid and the way their energy ticks. And I don't really understand a lot of it. So luckily, like Blizzard put a TLDR at the start, so I will read that. And so we're bringing back the WoW Classic Feral Druid power shifting by moving Druid energy regeneration to the constant 2-second slow tick loop. Cat druids will receive 20 energy at every 2 seconds. Their energy will never get a partial tick outside of the 2-second loop. And with careful timing, they can receive their full 20 energy regeneration tick immediately after shifting.
Yeah.
So you guys know anything about this? I've never played a druid.
I mean, we have a druid that was very vocal about this.
Yep.
And so my issue, basically, okay, they can't power shift properly if they don't have this. And rogues are on the 20-second thing, so I have no idea why druids are removed. Like, so 2 seconds, sorry. So every piece of regen in the game, health, mana, outside of potion, like spirit-based mana regeneration, MP5, everything's on a 2-second tick. Everything. It's like the server tick back then. And for some reason, druids were not on this. I don't understand why, or they would receive partial energy or something like that. I don't know if that was a TBC thing or when they changed that, but rogues still receive their energy every 2 seconds. So I don't know why druids wouldn't. I'm surprised.
I think it was when they were. I think it was just when they were shifting. When they were shifting stances.
Oh, I see. But it was in vanilla. That's the confusing thing. Like in Vanilla Classic, this wasn't an issue. So I don't know why it became an issue. And I'm surprised it took this long to fix it, because like Blizzard made special consideration for paladins for seal twisting, and they didn't do it for druids. And I was just like, just give them their thing, like let them be competitive, like like everyone, like they're letting everyone else be competitive. They're giving Alliance Seal blood. Yeah.
There's actually more to this one, and what happened was when they it was really apparent on the beta for people who did PvP, because this wasn't in at the start of the beta, the resource change they were talking about. So when they made that change, Druid Innervate was insane. It was giving 2 mana bars, right? So they put in the change to do the proper ticks of all the regen and stuff. That fixed that. That's when it killed the power shifting. Right?
Oh, so it broke one thing while fixing another.
And so then that came probably halfway through the beta, I think. So like that's why, like going into the beta, like SFAN had already complained about the twisting, so they'd already begun working on that. They didn't know that this was going to be an issue until after they fixed it, that it was gonna, it wasn't going to work for them. So that's why it didn't get in, and there was a lot of complaints and stuff about it. But yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, druids rejoice, and it's good for us because we have a pumper druid, so that's it's good for us. Yeah. Like a pumper feral druid. Yeah.
Hey, dude, I remember ferals starting to pump in Wrath. That's when I remember, and I was a rogue, and I was in the 25 mans, and like, wait a second, why is he close to me? What?
Yeah. I mean, he beat me on Mag last night.
Wow,
nice.
And the Hands of Shaman's not really, but like, I was like, damn, dude, good job. Like, because I don't know, I have a perception they suck too. So it's one of those things where, they don't suck. And if someone knows how to play so Druid's the class. I think the only class in the game. I think if you're good at your class, you're good at your class, right? But like the separation between a bad Druid and a good Druid is like, you'll know if you get to high arena, like you'll know it, like that guy's a good Druid. Like he knows how to play his class. Like I feel like it's the same across the board, even if we're talking about balance, tanking, Like I think they have one of the steepest learning curves, like across the board of any other class. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just like how I've seen it.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
I've been leveling my druid, and I know how bad I am at it right now because of different things where probably like, we'll switch to bear, and I'm like, okay. And I switched to bear, and I literally just die. Like, I just haven't learned it yet, right? I played it 10 years ago.
Yeah, I was just like,
I was good then.
yeah,
but
a rogue was attacking her. I was like, swap to bear, because I was trying to get to her to like help, I was just trying to get her to mitigate the damage so I could get there.
Yeah, it's like playing like 4 different classes at once, right? Because you have a tank, a melee DPS, you have a range DPS, and you have a healer, and you always have all that stuff, even if it's just a little bit, and it can all be beneficial in certain situations, even if you're not like the spec that enhances it, right?
Exactly. Even like resto druids in BGs in arena, if they're actually going the resto build or whatever it's called, like they use Moonfire, they use Bear form, they use Cat form for stealth. They use literally every possible feral charge. Yeah.
Cat sprint,
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
And I think it's the only class that actually can seamlessly go through all of the different like specs, not
Roles,
be as good, right? But like a Holy Pally is not gonna use any ret actions.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they're gonna hit or do whatever, but it's not like a total change, right? And is that the only other like real hybrid class?
Shaman kind of, but like
Shaman,
but like Shaman, like when I'm enhancement, I'm not like shooting lightning bolts. Like I will if I have to, but like it's one of those things where, I'll off heal, but like the amount of dipping that I'm going into the other is nowhere near as much as druids. Like they dip so far into each roll.
Right. Like a rep pally can off heal, here and there.
Yeah.
They don't have mana, but
I do the same. Yeah, but it's just like a one-time thing. You throw a heal out and then you just go back to whatever you're doing. But druids are like they have to do like multiple steps of things in each roll, but during a like successful arena or even PvE too. So
Sure.
Yeah, I just remember in both TBC and Wrath, especially Wrath, when I play my rogue, just trying to kill a resto druid would drive me, like a good one, would drive me freaking up the wall, man. Whew.
I think I can purge their hots. Other than if I wasn't able to do that, I'd be toast. Like it's the only thing I have on them. Well, I can't, so they can always also like root me and run away, and I'm done. But if I can get one if I can chase one, at least I can kill them only because of purge. If I didn't have purge, there's no way I would kill him.
Dude, the hots are insane.
Yeah.
Like I'm used to my priest renew, and I like put a little like, oh gosh, I can't even remember what it's called, but the like instant cast on a druid, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's much stronger than my renew is at like even geared when I was a 60, right?
Mm-hmm.
Although my mana sucks. That's fine.
Yeah, I think that's just because you don't have gear, though, too, at the same time. But, yeah, okay. Well, I wish we had, somebody who really understood the, like, druid class, but we don't, guys. So if you guys want to write into us, you can definitely tweet it to us. You can write in the comments on YouTube, or you can email us. So we'd love to hear an actual breakdown. But the last thing on the list is kind of big.
Yeah, it is big.
So, like... All right, let's just jump into it. So there was a new survey sent out. I don't understand why Blizzard won't send me these surveys.
I don't get them either, dude.
Like I could get them on the show, but I can't get the survey sent to me. Like, it's just driving me nuts. But all right, so the first thing on the list is if classic fresh start realms were introduced, how likely or unlikely are you to start playing on a classic fresh start realm if the changes you liked are implemented? So here's some of the changes that they put out. Do you guys want to talk about them one-on-one, or do you want me to go through the whole list and then we pull out the ones we want to talk about, or what do you guys want to do?
Maybe we should talk about each like screen. I don't know. Like there's 3 screens, right? Like there's 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's just start with the first screen. I will read them all off, and then you guys can grab the one you want to talk about first, and we can grab ones until we just don't want to talk about one. All right. So the first one has summoning stones at dungeon entrances, more difficult raid bosses and dungeon encounters, increased debuff limit on raid bosses, barbershop,
I don't know. Okay.
faster XP rates to level, no world buffs in raids.
So where the actual F to the barbershop option come
I
from?
don't know. That's why I
Wait,
said it the way I said it.
Why is that in there?
Is that like you can get a new hairstyle?
Yep, or
Yeah.
beard or
And
face.
what I like is that that's on the same like set of questions as like more difficult bosses, no world buffs,
Exactly.
barbershop, like
Like serious game things, and then like this barbershop. Like, what? I guess people I think what happens is like people come from retail, they pick classic, they make their character, and they're like, oh, I can't change this ever. They probably didn't even know,
Maybe.
right? But like, I don't know. Like,
I mean, come on. Like if
How many
that's your
times have you
biggest
looked at your
barrier.
character's face in classic? To be honest,
Yeah,
seriously.
no. Yeah, everybody
I-
else sees my face. I don't ever see my face.
And if you have a helmet on, then
Yeah.
and if you show your helmet, then you
Who
don't see
cares
it
about your
anyway.
hair?
I don't know.
Hey, it's a big feature of Wrath, right? The barbershop.
Is that when it came out? I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Yep, right along with the dance studio that never
Well,
came out.
so before we dive into this, this is a huge piece of news.
Yeah,
like-
okay, so it's a little weird. Like the third screen goes along with this. Like maybe we should go over everything before
Yeah.
we talk about anything.
Well-
Yeah, I
Oh.
Well, I
okay.
mean, like the fact that they're going to do this is huge.
Yeah, so
So-
okay.
Go ahead.
All right, so like let's just get an overview of what they're really trying to ask. So the next question is, for WoW Classic Fresh Start realms, we are considering accelerating the cadence of new phase increases and making some changes to allow players to keep up. Which cadence would you prefer for WoW Classic Fresh Start realm? Now this goes to like what Yip was talking about way back at the start of the podcast.
Yeah.
About seasons. So they ask. So the answers you can choose is same as WoW Classic from August 2019 launch. So basically 21 to 22 months. Next is 12 month cadence. The next one after that is 6 month cadence.
Hold
And
on, you
these-
missed though. It says with a new fresh start realm.
Yes,
Every
right.
12
Yeah.
months or 6 months. Yeah.
So like every 22 months, every 12 months, or every 6 months, and that's like a possibility. And then on the third question, it's like a few of the same ones. So I'm going to try and pull out the ones that we didn't say at the start. So black market auction house for vanity items, which I
Hold on,
don't
it
even
says-
know.
This one says overall, how much do you like or dislike the following changes you may potentially see on classic fresh start realms? Just so they know it's a different.
Yeah,
type
it's a
of
different
it-
question. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, how much likely are you to play? And these are how much do you like or dislike? Like, so the
Right,
black
right.
market auction house, I don't even know what that is. I guess it's a thing in retail.
It's the neutral age and ratchet and like winners of the Everlook. And,
okay.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a little bit different.
Is it?
Yeah, so it actually sells like gear that was unattainable or like pets and things like that.
How do you get access to it?
Well, it's something that came in MOP and it was.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So it's like it's the only place you get tier 3 gear in retail. Is that occasionally, like randomly, a piece would go up, or like it's how they would let people get unobtainable items, and then
I see.
the prices on them, it was like min bid with like, people
Okay.
could pay whatever they could for it. It's like it was a huge money sink.
That's
basically.
how people got the orange tiger way late in the game in retail. I did hear something about that.
Yeah, I think my brother was talking about that. He's a
Yeah, it went
retail player.
it went for gold cap, I guess.
Yeah, which is the thing. I didn't.
Okay,
yeah.
so just a couple more, and then we'll jump into this big discussion. Our original Alteric Valley design, meaning day or 2 day long matches, more more difficult. That's already in
Please.
there. increased rate of item drops. That would probably be for the 6 month or 12 month runs.
They would have to do that. There's no way they can. Yeah,
For sure.
Earn gold at faster rates. Summon stones at dungeon. Oh, and then faster XP rates to level. So you would probably level faster based on the timeline you chose. So do you want to? Where do you guys want to even start on this or jump in?
I just like to say that it's amazing they're even considering bringing classic fresh start realms. They're basically capitalizing on what private servers did for years.
I agree. I think it was something we didn't know if they were actually going to do. They were very kind of cryptic about it, right? Like, I feel like the classic era realms were a joke. And I could be wrong. There could be people that really love those. But I was like, if you want me to stay at 60 in this little tunnel, I don't know.
Those were just museum servers. Those are a way for them to make money off people's nostalgia. That's the only reason they did that. Like, let's be honest. I mean, they charged us to look at our old characters. That's all they did.
For sure.
No one's playing on those realms. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no one's actually doing anything. Maybe 5 or 6 people are, but like
they're pretty.
The reality
dead,
is,
dude.
it was a money sink. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm one of the people who paid for it. Like, I won't lie. I was like, I cleared all the content. I wanted to see, I want to have that trophy, and I did. So, but this is a fresh realm. So this is like banking on, and it would probably be seasonal, right? I don't think it would be like like private servers did seasonal fresh realms. Every 6 to 12 months they put out a new one. So it's a continuity for classic WoW, like forever potentially.
And I think what we've been preaching is that I think it would be nice if they made do different things from this list in different seasons and just see how it interacts, right? Like, how are you going to motivate? And okay, I say that, but a lot of people play classic private servers over and over and over again, right? So maybe you don't have to motivate them. But for me, I just played classic for 2 years, and I literally have no desire to open up the classic game again right now. Now, maybe sometime, but I'm enjoying TBC. And I think that was their point. I think they wanted people to go to TBC, make that successful before they announced any of this. My idea is that all of this was already in the works. They just didn't tell anybody because they wanted people to go to TBC.
Well, something that I pulled out of this that I thought was extremely interesting, and I'd love to see how it played out. I'm not sure I would do it personally unless it was like the 6 month timeline. But now there has to be 2 of these things together. The increased debuff limit on raid bosses and no world buffs in raid. I want to see what warlocks can do, I want to see what everybody can do when they actually get to put all of their stuff on the bosses, and there's no world buffs to actually make warriors king. Like, it could be an extremely interesting experience.
Yeah, like warriors can put rend on the boss.
It'd be so weird.
Weird stuff like that, right? Like, I don't know. I think it's worth a shot, but I really would strongly suggest that they keep one. I would really like to see the option of like vanilla as it was forever be one of the options.
So
as much as I hate world buffs,
that's what we have right now, though. The vanilla forever servers, we have those.
Yeah, it's true. But it's locked to phase 3. Like, you can't. It's
it's not
do your own thing. You could do your own thing in that classic era server, right? Like, you could level your own characters.
You can start a guild, and
you could see how quickly and what gear you could use to enter Nax, right?
Yeah, that's a good point, Al. If people really wanted to do that, they would just start a new guild or something on their servers. It's a good point. It's a good point. But yeah, I mean, like, if they did no world buffs, harder bosses, increased debuff limits,
a barbershop, obviously.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course. I personally don't like the whole screw up the leveling experience. I think that's like vanilla. Like, vanilla is the leveling. It's the journey, right? I've always said that.
I mean, you decrease the leveling requirement, and it's to 60, and you're just going to have everybody that has every class at 60. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it kind of cheapifies the whole like immenseness of the world, in my opinion. Like, like running dungeons, to, like, you know, getting a group for RFK. Like that's my favorite, one of my favorite memories about WoW. And you know, another thing, like they didn't say anything about mage boosting in here.
Right.
Nothing about that. And I would have been like, please, like destroy that somehow.
Yeah,
Like,
just
please.
use
Because
the
if it's
TBC
there,
rules.
you're gonna use it. At
Yeah,
least I'm gonna
yeah.
use it, right? Like if it's there and I can get up my character, like whatever. But what I think is interesting though is people might argue like, well, if it's only a 6-month cadence, then you have to decrease the leveling requirement. But
Potentially,
please tell me that we were not bored as hell in all of the raids that we were doing over
Oh, we
the-
were.
like
Yeah.
tell me that. And the people that are gonna play Fresh Classic, I feel like is not going to be a bunch of casual hangout, like
Mhm.
let's try to get to 60 within a year, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's their audience. And I
Yeah,
could
they're
be
try-
wrong.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think they're
it
trying to
is.
capture the private server people, I think, and
Yeah.
people who want to play Classic forever. And I think if
Those
they
people don't need a year to level to 60
no, they
and
don't.
play the
They don't.
content. Like
Not
they
at all.
don't.
But if they do a 12-month cycle, as long as the bosses drop more loot, like that,
Mhm.
that's the hardest thing. Like the worst thing about Vanilla WoW was world buffs and the loot. Like 2
Mhm.
pieces of loot, 40 people. Are you kidding me? Like
Oh yeah.
that was the. It's not. And I think people think, oh, well, you're just trying to make the game easier. No, we're trying to make guild leaders like not lose their minds. Like
Right.
that's the hardest. One of the hardest things to deal with is that. Like,
Yeah.
how do you decide who gets? It's just so hard. You have 40 people show up every week for like scraps, basically. You know.
Yeah. And then
So-
some people get lucky and get them early, and then they don't have anything to go to raid for, right? Like
Yeah,
they go there
yeah.
to support, but they're not like excited to get anything. And then you've got that one person that something never drops. Like, you know, it just doesn't ever drop.
Yeah.
And like, yep, he never got his Thunder Fury.
Yeah, unfortunately.
What do you think, Il?
Yep.
I mean, they did put multiple options in there. I month is probably the best. It would probably need some tweaks. I think it would capture some of the community. I know there was a lot of people I played with in Onslaught who they're basically fresh chasers. Like whatever's fresh, they
Yeah.
play it. They go and they play it for 6 months or whatever, and then they're done, right? And a lot of them quit, you know, in BWL because they went to play private servers with like a new reroll. Because, you know, for them, they think the funnest part for them is the leveling in the early PvP when like nobody has any gear and like just that initial rush, and like that was a lot of fun. Like remember your classic experience? A ton of my most memorable points were from, you know, the first month or two of the game.
I 100% agree with you.
Phase 1 was the funnest
Yeah.
part of the game. Yeah,
Which is why I
disagree.
don't want to disrupt the leveling experience, in my opinion.
Phase 2 destroyed the game, but you know, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I don't think they'll ever make that mistake again with open world PvP without battlegrounds.
Do you see how
yeah.
this wasn't an option though? Maybe they've already
True,
decided.
true.
I hope
Yeah,
that they've
they've probably
already
already
just
decided that
decided. That was a poor choice.
Oh, what'd you guys think about the summoning stones at dungeon entrances? Because you were talking about getting that group for RFK, and it
Yeah.
definitely was getting all 5 people there.
It would make me kind of sad, but it wouldn't ruin it for me. I'll say
Yeah.
that. Like, it wouldn't be deal breaker if
There's a
summoning
certain
stones.
level of like classic having to run everywhere that's
Yeah.
annoying, but like
Yeah, the immenseness of the world,
kind
right?
of- yeah.
That's classic to me. Like that, if you would say like, what's one word to like portray vanilla, it's journey. That's what
Right.
it is for me, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'd say journey and community, right? I think
that too,
community
yeah.
is a huge thing. I think that's what you start to lose as you move forward is the community. Like you had to have 40 people working together, and that is tough and that is hard, and a lot of people can't do it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you move down to 25, and then it kind of just spirals from there, right? And I get it. Like not everybody can be available with 40 people, and it was a struggle bus a lot of times, but you know, that I think brought everybody closer, which I think helps in TBC. That's why we have 3 care groups and things like that. But
no, I agree with you. I think that's community is definitely another word I would use to describe. I guess the only thing with me is that I potentially can use that word to describe any expansion, but you're right. Like it's bigger in Vanilla WoW than any other expansion. The community aspect. Yeah, I'll give you. Yeah, definitely agree with that.
What about what about the original Alterac Valley? Now, I know a lot of people ask
You
for
won't see me
this.
in there.
Yeah, I was like,
What's
that was
that?
cancer to me. Like,
Alterac Valley in general, I feel like is such a awful thing that I had to
Thank
do
you.
for so
Thank you.
long. I just have zero interest in joining something that I won't finish. And I get it. Maybe you want to join it. That's fine. I just won't do AV. Okay.
what about you,
Yeah, I
Ayle?
mean,
I'm nostalgic about it. I would have liked to do it.
Do you think that nostalgia would last more than about an hour and a half in the BG?
I mean, probably not. It'd be a fun thing that I would do like maybe once a week, but as an everyday thing, like the new one is better. But
What
like
if you
that,
had to grind your honor in AV?
well, that's the thing is that like a lot of people ground honor and AV in the honor system there. It totally kind of kills that, right? So it's different. It's more of an experience, it's more of a journey. You know, Melderon. It was a lot funner.
Meldron doesn't want to go on that journey.
not that journey. Yeah, go
I have,
ahead.
I
Sorry.
have a lot of fond memories of it. I don't know if it'd even be the same because the way we played it back then was so different than the way people would play it now that I don't think it'd be even worth it. Like a lot of the magic of it was that when that original version of AV was out, AVs were only on your server, right? So
Yeah.
you'd be able to queue in and coordinate with a bunch of people that you knew. A lot of people were on Discord. We would have like 10 or 15 people in the same AV, and we were able to like make progress in AV by having a large group of us all working together and things like that. And
Good point.
if they have the old AV with cross realm, it's gonna be crap. It's gonna be crap. You lose a
And I
lot of
think
magic.
maybe that's the difference, right? I think you hit it there.
And there's a lot of differences with that changed the way the PvP worked. Just having cross realm and things like that, like just for the added benefit of queues and things. And as much as I would want to go back, that might be something that is definitely rose colored goggles for me. It probably should stay in the past. Thinking about it, yeah, it probably won't be as good as it was, just because
Different
the new
times.
systems they have in, and I'm sure somebody would figure out the fastest way to do it, and then it would kind of be the same as it was anyways, right? So
Yeah, I think that's the problem, right? Is that we want this sentiment, right, that was there before, but as we've seen going through Classic, that's just not a thing. Like how it was before, even if it's the exact same thing, it will be done very, 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 very differently now.
Yeah.
Because somebody will exploit it, somebody will figure it out, and everybody will follow.
Yeah.
Very important thing to pull out of this is they didn't say anything about new content, nor did they say anything about class balancing. So that tells to me that they don't want to touch like big things like that. And I'm kind of glad, but I'm also kind of wondering what if they had the development like know-how, or not know-how, but the passion behind making new content, or potentially even like changing classes. I don't think that's a good thing. I'm just saying that like it's an interesting thought experiment, but I'm glad they're not going to do that because I don't think they really know how right now.
I think no world buffs and raids changes class balance.
Sure. I think you're right. That is the class
Dramatically.
balancing change. Yeah.
Right? And I think you start there. But I do like that they're actually throwing around the options, right?
It really doesn't change as much as I think it does.
Really?
You think it's
Explain.
just that?
Yeah. Well, I played on one of the private servers that actually outlawed world buffs in raids, and warriors were still top DPS. It just lowers the it just brings them down a bit. They're still much better just due to the armor stacking and things like that.
Just people didn't know how to play them in vanilla.
What about if they raise the debuff cap on bosses and like warlocks can actually put all their stuff on?
That would make a difference for sure.
Druids can actually put all of their hots on.
Yep. You can have like hunters using Serpent Sting, Hunter's Mark. I think hunters would actually go up significantly because if they keep that change in with the world buffs, because hunters got that 400 attack power bonus, right, from world buffs or whatever. Sorry. Oh, right, because we're not doing world buffs. So if there's no world buffs, then never mind. I'm sorry, I was going on a different tangent. But if they're able to do like Hunter's Mark, Serpent Sting. That could change things a little bit. I don't know. Maybe not. Rogues being able to put, what do rogues have? Nothing really. They just use slice and dice. That's use their common points and slice and dice it on not them.
I mean, can't they use or could they already use like the poisons or different things that they used on their weapons? Were those debuffs?
I guess on Alliance, what would you use? What do rogues use on Alliance? Because ours use Wind Fury on their main hand. So I don't know.
What's the rogues or the warriors?
I think they
Rogues,
use,
Alliance rogues. What do they put on their weapons? Just
um,
the sharpening stones.
I think instant poison. I'm actually not sure. I know what rogues used in Wrath, but I don't remember what I used in Vanilla. I think it was instant poison on most bosses because you didn't want to put, like, deadly poison would have been more damage, but you didn't want to put the debuff on the boss.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. I think it'll be really cool if they do it. Yep,
Would you do
for
it,
sure.
Melderon?
Not right now.
Yeah.
Not right now. Yeah.
I feel the same way. My class experience has run its course for now.
Mhm.
Maybe in a couple years after TBC. I'm not sure how hot I feel about Wrath. I would maybe play it instead of Wrath.
I think
Gotta give
Wrath's
Wrath
gonna be
a
a lot more
shot.
fun than people think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
It's a lot more relaxed.
Wrath.
It's a lot more relaxed.
I think it's not. I don't know. I hate Death Knight, so
Oh, everyone hates Death Knights but me.
that's because you played one.
But like, I don't know. They're not going to be in their like God mode state.
Yeah,
3.3.2.
yeah, they're going to be definitely. I would have
Or
to assume in
3.3.5.
the later state, not the early
Yeah.
state.
You're gonna
I don't-
quit because of Death Knights. Ale.
I think Wrath is
Mhm.
nowhere near as serious as TBC, and I think
Yeah.
because of that, people are going to have a lot more fun. I think it's a fun expansion. It's not the greatest expansion people always tout it to be. I think TBC was the best, but I do think Wrath is the most fun because of the zones, the music, the leveling process. The raids are a lot of Ulduar, best raid ever made in my opinion. ICC is amazing. I mean, yeah,
Maybe
there are some low
Wrath was
points
what
for
you
sure.
needed after TBC,
I
right?
think Wrath's a good icing on the cake. I do.
Yeah.
I think Wrath's a good icing on the cake. I think that the meat though is TBC for sure. But
Yeah.
that's a serious expansion. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to Wrath to be a little bit more like, it's Wrath. It's almost over, and kind of like ride the smooth ride home. I don't know, kind of thing. But
Same.
yeah.
Yeah, we're on the
Yeah.
same page there, Melderon.
Okay, so one other thing I wanted to bring up is more difficult raid bosses and dungeon encounters. I guess for me, this would be great. I would have loved them to be a little bit more difficult, but I want to know what that difficulty
Yeah.
entails, right? Is it just mean you have to buy a bunch of stuff to get over the difficulty?
Yeah.
Does it mean they have more mechanics? Does it mean that they have more health? Like, what does that mean? And in my mind, it would be nice if they just had like more health and more difficulties, so you actually accessed all of the abilities of the boss. Because so much through Classic, we would just burn a boss down before they even got to do their like
Or
ability that was supposed to be difficult.
yeah, or on top of that, more life and stuff would make it so like heals would need to actually worry about over
Yeah, like, I
over
couldn't just
healing.
dash heal
Yeah, you would
all
have
the
to like actually do mana conservation to make sure you had the right amount of mana at the end and stuff like that.
Which
think
is
they have
what
to be very
happened in
careful.
vanilla.
Yeah, I think they have to be very careful with this though, because
Yeah.
private servers were harder. They had higher armor values. They had higher health pools, but they also had higher, smaller frequencies in between their cooldown usage for their abilities, right? But they had world buffs. I think if you don't have world buffs and make the bosses too hard, I do think it'll become like a dredge. Like people are going to like hate raiding, right? Because
Yeah.
I feel like there's not enough mechanics and fun things that happen in fights outside of Nax that
Yeah.
I think people get
That's
really
fair.
bored. I don't know. They got to find like if people don't want, let's say people vote out world buffs, but they want harder bosses. I think that's the hardest part for Blizzard, because they have to be like, okay, how do we make these bosses more engaging outside of just making the fight longer? Because I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to go into a 3-hour boss fight with or like a 20-minute
Yeah,
boss
I
fight, right?
mean, imagine like
poor.
Ragnaros, right, with like twice the hit points, no world buffs.
I
You're
would have
just like,
just liked
all
to
right,
see. I would have just
World
liked to
buff.
see phase 2 of Rag one time, through Classic. Like I didn't
Yeah,
get to see
yeah.
it
Never
once.
saw it.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. I think if they are able to do something like that, be able to, maybe he dips more often,
Or maybe
something
he
like
dips
Or
that.
on
maybe a
percentage
certain
and
health
not
percentage.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah, like those are the things. Like maybe it's not a time gate, maybe it's a percentage gate.
yeah.
So instead of after a minute they do this, it's after they get to 80% health they do this.
I think Valestraz would be awesome with like longer flight, like more people dying on Valestraz. Like I think that would be pretty cool. I mean, because you saw how Valestraz went, and like we just destroyed him every time. Like we just
Yeah.
okay, everyone run
Good
in.
joke.
We kill him in like 10 seconds or whatever, and whatever it was
Yeah, they'd still have a bunch of time left over to do trash with your debuff.
with the buffs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm interested to see how they do it. It'd be interesting to see how they do it.
Same.
But I'm really glad that they're thinking about doing this. I'll put it.
I know
that way.
there's a lot of people that want it.
Yeah.
Ayle, did you have any final thoughts? It looked like you were about to say something.
Yeah, I think they would have to do a little bit more than just removing the world buffs. Removing the world buffs for Nax, like that does increase the difficulty for sure. But the earlier raids with all the changes that we're in, they would definitely have to put some buffs in. Yeah, like the only time people saw second phase Rag, like for example, like Onslaught's first kill and like our first kill with Eden, when we didn't have everybody 60 yet. That was like the only time we saw second phase Rag. So
You kind
it
of
would be nice. It'd be nice to see the full fights and the Classic to actually have a little bit of teeth.
You kind of just reminded me of something they didn't mention. But what about actual phased item changes? So like we actually have these stats on the items that were in that time in vanilla.
Progressive, yeah.
Like
That would be cool.
Yeah, could be really cool.
But I don't know if they're going to do that because they said they don't have the data, and that's why they never even considered it. Where with TBC, we have seen a lot more of that because they do have the data. They have been doing more progression. So I'm not surprised it's not even an option. I don't even think it's something they're considering.
All right, cool. Well, so Ayle does have to go soon, so we're gonna have to move off this topic though and move on to the last topic, where the state of PvP. So let's move on to discussion. So we're just gonna wait a second here because everybody left. So on the audio version, they won't hear this, but just gonna wait a second for everybody to get here. Then we can talk about basically. I'll just explain it when they get back. You got a raid to get to?
I had promised people we were going to do arena tonight, and I also have to have dinner. So dinner first, and then arena after.
Oh shoot! Well, hopefully they get back in a second, and we can get this show done.
For sure.
What's up, chat?
What's up, chat? Any chads in the channel? Cha.
We got Yam Starch and Jasmine. We're talking. I don't know if they're still there or not, but hopefully Melderon gets back here in a second. Or I guess we could just start. But I don't know if can he hear? Does he have a wireless headset? Okay, he can hear.
No.
So maybe we'll start in, and then he can like jump in with any counterpoints. So I'll go ahead and start in a second here. All right, so discussion this week is gonna be with our two Horde guests who have been living the nightmare of PvP and TBC at the moment, and I'm gonna jump in from time to time with maybe sometimes devil's advocate and sometimes just my thoughts. But I'll start it with I'm scared. The only thing I'm scared of is them making a change that doesn't change the populations of the servers And I don't want to be in the open world because the open world is the cool place. And I don't want to be there where I'm outnumbered every time and I just have to wait to do quests by, the Horde's grace, if they let me live. Like, I want it to be a back and forth battle. That's the only thing that worries me about the proposed changes. But I'm going to let you guys kind of just take it away and tell everybody the problem and kind of maybe what your guys' thoughts are to fix the problem.
Can I ask a question first?
Sure.
Before you go into this? So I want to know from a Horde perspective, when you're doing world PvP, is that
You're asking the wrong
typically...
guys.
Oh, okay.
We don't have world
Yeah,
PvP.
remember they don't have world PvP.
Okay.
Ask your question. Ask your question.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
if you had a server with Alliance on it, would you be doing world PvP just randomly whenever and all the time? Or do you think that most of it comes from when they're waiting to get into battlegrounds? They're like, fine, let's just go kill some Alliance.
For me, it would be both. I would be playing the objectives, especially Hala and things like that, because there are rewards I want from that. So I'd always be keeping my eye on that, as well as the other objectives in the other zones. There are some items and things I'd want from that. So I would be doing the objective PvP a lot. But at the same time, right now, I'm in the middle of honor farming. So I would also be out killing whoever I could just for honor because the queues are so bad. And that's the primary problem right now with PvP on Horde is that you have to wait between 40 minutes to an hour just to get into a battleground, right?
Insane.
And it is leading to the mass extinction of Alliance players on PvP servers because
Yes, I'm
if
aware.
those if those people were just in a BG, they wouldn't have time to fly around and gank people. If there's a minute or two, they would just do BGs, and that's not what's happening. And I've played a little bit on White Mane on my character as well. All I've done is run to dungeons and burn off my rested, and I've been ganked multiple times by 70s on mounts, right? And
Every time.
it's just like I feel like a baby turtle going, trying to make it to the water.
Good
and
analogy.
I'm just running and crying and bubbling and hoping it's enough. And that's what it is. And already Alliance don't really PvP as much as Horde. I feel like generally, I feel like there's more active serious PvPers on Horde than there is on Alliance.
Phase 2 destroyed us. Okay. So Phase 2 destroyed Alliance mentality, where now Alliance is run away, and sacrifice your allies. Forget them. They're focused on them. I'm going to get away and survive. Right? That's where Alliance mentality went to.
It's like the funny joke in Canada is what do you do when you have a grizzly chasing you? It's well, hopefully you're not the slowest one, right? And I've seen the same thing on White Mane. When I was 60 on my paladin, the last 2 weeks of the game, I went full ret and went PvPing and just mainly killing boosties and stuff. But I was just shocked at people. How someone would start attacking them, they would either just stand still and take it, they wouldn't fight back. You're getting ganked, they won't help you. The initial thing is just to run. And then how aggressive the Horde is, where I would be fighting somebody and level 50s would just come in and start fighting. And then
100%.
I would just turn and crank them. And, I was just it was just I couldn't believe it. It was so night and day.
I don't understand the difference. I don't understand it. We were in Hellfire last night and we're getting ganked by this rogue, this 70 rogue. And all of a sudden it's 6 other people at 62.
Not K-Nup, by the way. K-Nup got schooled.
Oh, yeah.
This is all J.R.R. Tolkien's fault, by the way. It all goes back down to the 30s. Let me explain why.
Please tell me.
Alliance players want to be dragon slayers. And I think it had a lot to do with Lord of the Rings, because when movies came out, the stereotypical elf, dwarf, whatever it was, questing, going on a quest, killing dragons, right? And I think Horde players' mentality, they want to kill people. They want to be the opposite. They want to do something different. They want to not fall into... That's how it was back in the day. And I think that somewhat kind of moves forward today, but this is a player generated problem. This is not
Yes.
Blizzard's problem. This is,
100%.
and Ayle hit the nail on the head. It's because the only reason you guys are getting ganked so often, yes, there is that mentality difference between Horde and Alliance, but it's like way further exacerbated by the fact that we have to sit in queues for 45 minutes. So what do you do
We
when
have
you're
to
in
grind
queue?
honors
You
some
kill
way.
people, right? So like it's so much more, and people think to themselves like, well, Horde players are just queuing, and that's part of it, because people see a YouTube video and they say, well, I got to roll Horde. There's no other option for me because I want to be the best at this and I want to be the best at that. They don't even think about like what they want to play. They just want to be meta slaves, right? And I don't put myself in that boat because I've been playing Horde since 2006, right? I don't think I'm that person, but for a lot of people, that is the reason why they're Horde. So that's one end of it, right? And that's YouTube content creators' fault. That's guide makers' fault. But also the person's fault for making that decision.
Yeah.
So there's that aspect of it. But like,
I wanted to be Horde when I started.
Yeah.
But there was no like even remotely cute Horde that I could like get behind.
Yeah.
So
I mean
I went Alliance.
And that's a mentality difference between Horde and Alliance, and I think that's still strong today. But I think what's really driving it now is it's a meta slave mentality. That,
and YouTube's part of the problem too. I mean,
YouTubers, guide writers, it's our fault. I mean, I didn't make any guides like this, but like people do, where they say you have to be Horde or you're bad. People believe that, and they just go play Horde because they want to be they want Blood Fury, they want stun resistance, they want Will of Forsaken. Well, let me tell you something. Perception is very strong, and like even Chastise is very strong, and like Alliance is not terrible. PvE wise, yes, there's a clear advantage to Horde, but I don't think there's a clear advantage in PvP, especially not at the higher echelon.
Still there's a clear advantage to Horde
In PvE?
You do?
Because of Blood
Why?
Fury. Yeah. But, yeah, because it affects hunters, it affects warlocks. Those are the top DPS classes.
The advantage like isn't
we're talking 1-2%, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not game breaking, but people want yellow parses, right? And they want pink parses. Right. And it makes it 1 to 2% easier if you're an orc.
I've never looked at my purses. I have no idea. Yeah.
I agree. I 100% agree with what you're saying, but I just think that people don't care. They just want to have the highest parse. They just want to have like there's no DPS increases as far as I can't think of one on the Alliance for PvE. When there's clear DPS increases because of Blood Fury. So it's it's like, so this is not Blizzard's fault. I mean, okay, you could say it's like Blizzard's fault back in the day when they made the racials, but that's not the situation now. It's it's our fault. And so it's a two-sided thing. Horde are suffering because they have a longer queue time, and Alliance is suffering because the Horde, who are already inclined to PvP more, are attacking Alliance because they have nothing better to do because they have to wait for queues. So it's affecting both factions. And and on the PvP side of thing, it's making Arena incredibly imbalanced because when you go against an Alliance team, they have all their PvP gear already. You don't. And that's
true.
And that's fine. You can say that's fine or whatever, but like still it feels bad for people like me who play Horde because I love Horde. I don't play it because I want Blood Fury, right? Like I play an Orc Enhanced Shaman not because of Blood Fury, because I love Orcs and I love Shaman. Like that's why I play them. But I think a lot of people play them for different reasons.
So do you think that it would have been better, and this is very hypothetical and something I know will never happen, but do you think it would have been better if Horde and Alliance were equal on both sides? Like, say, like, human and orc had the exact same racials and, whatever else the factions are, right? Like, they had the exact same thing, so that at that point you could say, I want to be this class or I want to be this class. Or race, right?
I mean, if you gave Alliance Will to Forsaken, something like it, and if you gave them Blood Fury of some kind, I think it would be fine. I think it would fix it, but it won't fix.
But do you think it's too little, too late now?
Right now, it won't fix anything. So there's only two ways to fix this, in my opinion. One, battleground queues are across faction. So you would queue with Alliance players if you would queue with Horde players if you're Alliance, and we would queue with Alliance players if we were Horde, or which I don't think will
be the same team.
These are the only two ways I see it can be fixed. That's one. The other one is provide free transfers, but because of the PvE implications, people won't do it because they want the PvE prowess as well. So if you open free transfers to Alliance, the Horde players won't do it because they want Blood Fury. So I mean, some will, but most of them won't, right?
Yep.
So I think the only way to fix this is to actually have like Horde and Alliance queuing together for BGs. I really think
Mode,
that's the way to fix
as
it.
they call it in retail.
What is it called?
Mercenary mode.
Mercenary mode.
You can go enable yourself for mercenary mode, and I don't know exactly how it works. I've never actually done it, but I believe it's exactly as you say. You basically are able to queue with Alliance. I'm not sure if it changes your character to be Alliance as well.
From what I heard, it changes your racials too. So if you choose to do that, you're going Alliance racials with it.
Interesting.
I mean, it's BGs. Who
true,
cares?
though.
People play BGs. This isn't. There's no RBGs in TBC, right? People are playing BGs right now to farm honor. That's all they care about. If I had the queue as a Draenei Shaman, I won't care. As long as I get my honor, and then for the week, I don't care. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think that it's a simple fix. It's the only one that'll work because the free transfers will not work. Mark my words, it won't work. So
I feel like it's the one that will make the most people, not the most people, the most vocal people very, very angry, right? The ones that are very set on it is Horde versus Alliance. That is the premise of the game. That is the premise of the lore. Like, it is Horde versus Alliance. You start putting them on teams, like, people will be angry. Now, do I agree with your fact? 100%. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever. As long as, like, we figure it out. Maybe they can do something where, like, you're accepting going in undercover.
Right.
Like,
what would you even know, Mel? That's the thing. Like, if I queued in your battleground, you would know because it's my name. But like, say I queued in and I was on a random Draenei Shaman, and in real life I'm an orc, you wouldn't even know.
Yeah, that's true.
See, my problem is still the open world. I don't see how this fix just makes the open world worse and gives more incentive for people to roll Horde, and then the open world is just Horde everywhere, and you just have to.
Oh, you're saying
outside. You're saying the results of this fix will make Horde more prominent because now there's no negative.
I'm
to
talking
Horde.
for.
Oh, I see.
I'm talking for farming and like everything else. I'm not talking about just them trying to kill people while they're waiting in queues. I'm talking controlling different things, controlling Hala, controlling. Like, that's where my problem is.
That's where the problem will arise. It won't arise in kill rates. I think kill rates will go down, but that's a big problem.
Yep.
Right?
There's no negative to Horde being Horde anymore, right? Like, the negative right now is that their battle, like their BG queues are
you
horrible.
You make this merc change, and I'm down with going to Horde. Like, the reason that I chose Alliance when this came around was because I remember back in TBC and Wrath having not hour-long queue times, but 15 to 20 minute queue times, and I was like, this time I'm going Alliance and having instant queues. And that was a choice I made specifically because of this. And if they do that, it's just like, why am I even Alliance now? Now I'm just getting shit on everywhere where I try to farm anything, and that sucks, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's going to be the issue, is that there's no penalty, so a lot more people may end up doing that, right?
That's a good point. The one thing I did not think of was the implications of the world outside of World PvP, because I do think the World PvP will get better if that was incorporated. But I think you're right about farming and
the ganking will probably be less, just everyday ganking, but everything else will be worse, right? Because, you know, as Bob said, like, the control of things and like the objective PvPs, like, that'll become increasingly imbalanced.
And world bosses, everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about this? What if we just had? You guys are gonna hate this idea. But what if it was just server battlegrounds again?
Oh God, they would hate that idea. I know. They would have 3-day queues.
Yeah,
We'd
but
have-
I'm just
we'd have-
saying.
we'd have no queues at all. There's only 5 players.
Correct,
in
but how else do you?
Yeah.
But how else do you fix the server balance problem? Right? Like you guys chose a PvP server. You want to be on a PvP server.
Yeah.
I know it has its pros and cons, but like, do
Bro.
it within your own.
Hell, I can AFK for hours and no one will kill me. Like I
It's
could
insane.
sit. I could just sit on the ground and like I won't. I haven't seen. The last time I saw the Lions player was when I was level 61.
Right, and that's not what
Oh.
you signed up for,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
really?
No, it's
right.
not. It's not. It's not. Yeah.
I get up and go and get a glass of water or just whatever and just leave myself where I'm at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm dead
Yeah.
by the time I get back from getting a glass of water. By the
And,
time
like,
I
Well,
get done-
okay, but to
A lot of people don't know, but like at least for our guild, I was a big advocate at the end of Classic to try to get us to transfer to a
Yeah.
server that was more balanced because I wanted to be able to do the PvP objectives and I wanted to
You
be
guys
able
should come to White Main
have something to
and we
do.
can just battle each other.
Yeah. We talked long and hard about it. The issue that stopped us was asking guildies to spend money
Hmm.
because people were so invested. They had like 5 alts, 6 alts. It's like
Yeah,
it sucks. Like
yeah.
well, and
trust me,
on-
I would go in a heartbeat if it was just me and my brother.
Like-
It's just yeah.
we still have it pretty good. Like we had it 50-50 before TBC, and now it's like moving into 60-40. But the open world is pretty fun. Like it's a choice. Like we do quests and we do farms side by side by a horde often. And like I have my kill on
It's
my
like kind of
kill
like-
on site list, and like those guys are definitely murder any chance I get. But we've even helped Horde, and Horde has even helped us with different quests throughout. Like it's a really cool environment when you have at least a 60-40 balance. But once you get past that, then it's just like, well, see alliance, kill alliance, or vice or vice versa. Just because there's
If you see an
it
alliance,
doesn't
do you
hurt
kill them?
I mean, if I ever saw one, maybe.
Yeah, But that's what I'm saying.
It depends
right?
on the situation, right? If I'm minding my business farming modes of water, I'm not going to fuck with anybody, right?
Yeah.
If I'm farming and this guy's taking my spawns, yes, I'll kill him, right? That's the. I try to be honorable when it comes to world PvP.
Same.
I don't gank people below a certain level if they don't give honor. I don't.
It's very unhorde like.
I know. But like, well, orcs are supposed to be honorable, but no, I'm just joking. But anyway, so it's a very touchy subject, right? World PvP to me has rules, and one of the rules are like you don't gank someone who can't defend themselves, and 2, you try to fight for your resources. Like that's to me that's warranted killing, right? It's like, okay, well, I'm trying to get this thing and you're trying to get it. I'm gonna try to kill you. If you kill me, then you won it. That's how I feel, right? Like,
oh my god,
Yeah,
guys.
but if like you're trying to get it and I say, okay, like you got this, I'm gonna go over here,
oh, then you shouldn't.
and then you
I
come and
wouldn't.
gank me, like
Yeah,
that's what.
That's-
And it's just like history of like learning history, right? Where I'm like,
Yeah.
I know, even if I back off, they're just gonna freaking gank me anyway.
yeah.
So guys, Marv Tastic in chat said it's easy. Just let Alliance murk his horde in the open world.
There you go.
Oh man. Okay, well, I mean, honestly, if everybody's red that's not in your party, what happens then?
Well, to make real quick before we answer that question, to make this even more of an issue, and this has been going on in retail for years, the same problem, and they've done nothing to fix it. So,
Well, they basically just took out PvP servers. There's no
True,
such thing.
true.
It's just servers and you PvP flag. And
but that one fixed the queue problem, right? That's
no.
Right.
they could do that. They could make it everything's you toggle PvP on and off, right? That's how the retail thing did it now. But
I
the
feel
PV,
like that's awful.
but
I
the
know. I
PvE
like
side of
that
it-
option.
but PvE side of it, like they've tried to balance. According to Ian Hostakos, I don't play retail, but according to Ian, they've balanced both factions. But it's so deep seated
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
there's-
it's,
At this
yeah,
point, there's no turning back, right?
yeah.
Like you are Horde. Even if they made Alliance exponentially better,
Yeah.
how much would it take to get you to transition?
Okay,
There's-
well,
Oh, me? I don't. I mean,
I
me
do wanna-
personally, no. But
So
Yeah.
So I was
Is that-
checking out Ayle's stream the other day, and Ayle, like, I really thought that, like, allowing a one-time faction change if you're the overpowered faction to Alliance would work, but Ayle says, like, he thinks it will go a different direction. I wanted to give him the floor to, like, explain what he thinks will happen if they do faction transfers.
Which point was that in particular?
It was everybody would transfer, get gear, and be done, something to like along that lines. I didn't say it as well as you did.
That's right. So like that's one thing that I think is going to happen is that for the people who want to farm honor and the people who want to do it quickly, the players, I think there would be a temporary benefit to having the faction swap, because the people would faction swap, they would grind their honor, and then they would stop PvPing, and then the queues would go up again, right? For the people who want to do that, and as Melderon said earlier, I don't think a large enough amount of people will actually do that. That'll make a big enough difference. I think it would temporarily alleviate the queues, but those people who are only there to farm honor, they're only going to be playing until they've accomplished their goal, and then they aren't going to PvP, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what I feel like is going to happen.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe giving Alliance the racials is the answer.
And if they allow it to go both ways, they'll swap, and then they'll swap back once they're done, you know?
Yeah, once they get their honor cap. Yeah.
I don't
And
think you can allow it to go both ways. Right?
Yeah, I don't think you can. Like, I think it has to be a one-time thing. But let me counter you with this. Mel and I plan to do a ton of PvP, and our characters are level 62. And I think a lot of people are primary PvE, but they want to do a lot of PvP. It's just they want to get a guild spot from their 40-man guild moving to a 25-man. So if they're like us, we are doing everything we possibly can to make sure we get that raid spot, and then we're going to worry about PvP. So maybe things will actually get better because more people will actually want to queue, because it's what I'm going to be doing. 1 month from now, the majority of my playtime is going to be in BEGs. Right now, I've played 5 BGs.
Yeah, maybe that's later in the tunnel. I don't know. Maybe more Alliance will queue, but
like that's not what's happening. So just to give, like, the reason that I think that's going to happen, the point I talked about earlier, where it'll temporarily help, it's because the queues have been getting steadily worse week to week. The first 2 weeks, Eye of the Storm queues were 10 minutes. Now they're up to 40, right? Sure. And that's because the Alliance, they're farming their honor and they're not doing BGs anymore. Right?
Oh, you're
so
right.
It's actually only going to get worse from here.
Oh, that's a really good point I didn't think about.
Yeah, as players who are playing for objectives or for like honor get finished, they aren't going to play. The people who play for fun, they're going to play anyways. I feel that's a smaller subset. Yeah. And they're
going to play arena.
And they're going to play arena. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, like all the Alliance people who are really solid PvPers, even not even solid, just one arena, are already honor capped. They have their gear.
Yeah, well, Blazing Bob, he's like got like 60K honor and like over 70 of each mark, and I'm level 62. I did that prior.
And you didn't cap before TBC came out, right?
I did. Yeah.
You did. All right, so you're already accumulated another 70 marks.
Yeah. I'm
60K.
I'm level 62, and I didn't need to buy any of the old stuff. Like, I just got that honor, so as soon as I hit 70, I could get a handful of pieces.
I was capped as well. I have 10,000 honor. So I spent my 70. I spent that. I've only gotten back up to 10.
That's rough.
And I PvP. You said you only done 5 battlegrounds or something. Right?
Yeah. Well, no, I've only played 5. It was on lock, dude, and I was really close to getting that 12 spell power gem.
Oh, so you bought something. Okay,
I just did that so I could throw that in my spellfire helmet, but like, I'm going to go hardcore on PvP with Blazing Bob once I get him to level 70.
Oh, I understand now. I know a guy. So I was talking to one of my buddies in guild today. His friend has his full PvP set. He plays an Alliance, has all his blues, has the full set, already is honor capped again for the next phase.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if that's all you do, Like we could be
Yeah.
in the same boat. Like our queues are minimal. Like
You
they
might
are
be
very
seeing a lot more of the white man soon.
Yeah, you talked about possibly switching to PvPing on on your actual human mage who is geared to level up.
Yeah.
How do you feel about mage, warrior, druid?
Yeah, sounds good.
I'm a
Sounds
really
like a good
bad druid, but how do you feel about that?
That's a strong comp for sure. Excellent CC, Mortal Strike. Yeah, that's good. Definitely.
Yeah, we got this. Will you boost us?
Oh
Will I
yeah,
boost you?
yeah. I mean, can we
Absolutely
just
boost
go to slave pens, and you just do the AOE? We'll just stand there. Kidding.
Ayle's like, this is not okay.
He's like, wait a second. I don't know.
What did I sign up for?
Not what I made for. I'll play my paladin and tank. Easy.
Easy peasy.
Well, I mean, I don't know that there's a good. I mean, I think honestly, if you wanted to fix it, the racials might be the only way, but it would have needed to be before TBC started.
You guys, I feel like, let's be real. This is classic. This is something that came back. There was very little opportunity to fix the faction imbalance because of the way that it's progressed, like Melderon was saying. Like it's progressed from here to retail right now and just increased in, it's still there. It's still there. There's still more Horde than Alliance in retail. So
way more Horde.
Way
as well
like
retail.
vast amount.
Like it's like 70 or 80 30 7 like it's I have read posts about it on the forums where they have some sort of a thing where once 100 guilds clear mythic content or something, it like unlocks something or something happens, and Alliance barely do it before they release the next raid.
Dude, Ayle, I don't know if you've ever been to a BlizzCon, but when they do the For the Horde, the room shakes when the audience says For the Horde. When they do For the Alliance, it's literally For the Alliance, and this is one guy in the back. Like,
yeah, it's true.
It's crazy how different it is.
Yeah, it is. What I'm saying is that this is a long ongoing issue that Horde are the better population and Alliance are kind of like whatever. And I'm an Alliance, okay? I don't think we're whatever. I think we're wonderful. But how do you fix that in a classic game? Like you can't fix that in a classic game.
I mean, the racials, letting everybody have it was probably the best call, but it needed to be before people rushed to 70.
I guess I'm wondering, have they allowed class transfers at all?
No.
In Classic?
Not okay, you're asking the wrong question.
Sorry, race transfers.
Faction transfers.
Thank you.
No,
Have they allowed that at all?
No. I believe that was added. When was that? Was that added in
Was
Wrath
added.
or-
I know race change was added in Kata because I did that and changed to a goblin, but I don't know.
You know what?
About
It was added in Wrath at least because I remember I actually did it. I faction swapped to join a guild on the other side in Wrath.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth them trying, right? Like, if you're Horde on this server, you can faction swap to Alliance on these servers, right? Or if you're Alliance on these servers, which is probably not going to happen, you can faction swap to Horde on these servers. Like, and maybe make it free for a month or until they hit their cutoff, right? Like, here, it's open for a month. You can do it. You can transfer servers to these servers if you're Horde or Alliance. Like, I get that they want to make money and I get that it has to be paid, but you need to balance your game before you look at making money because people are quitting because of the imbalances that they have.
Yeah, they're just not a good. I'll give you a last form of idea before we close this out because Ayle does need to go. Maybe they just allow Horde, or maybe they allow everybody. I think everybody would make the problem worse, but maybe they allow Horde to just buy the blue set with gold.
Oof. I think
No.
that'd make a lot of Alliance players mad.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. No way.
no, they
We'd
have
get more people to go to Horde.
they have a solution for that already, and it's the sets, the reputation sets, which are coming in a patch at some point.
Well, I mean, there's already like I can make a cloak that gives you like 22 resilience, and then there's also for casters the 2-piece set that you could get. I forget the name of it, but Quick Strike maybe.
Unyielding.
Yeah, and like they've got those, but I was just saying like I don't know, maybe like I don't know how you fix it.
They have the sets. They're equivalent to the PvP blue sets. They're available at Honored with all the factions in Outland. That was added much later into the game as like a catch up for people. That's something they could add in, but there's still the offset pieces that people need to do BGs for that you need the tokens for.
And can we point out that honor grinding is annoying for Alliance? Like when Yamstar just mentioned, they will more frequently turtle in an AV or in a
it's
war
freaking
song
drives us nuts
because they just want honor, right?
Well, it's like if you're fighting for your life, are you going to fight hard or are you just going to give up? Like
exactly.
I've noticed it with
but
Alliance.
it's different. It's like for Alliance, it's like the meta is to just rush Drek and kill him because we're going to get another Q.
And
in
I
2
hate
minutes,
these Alliance that are like,
then we'll rush
just
back and-
lose, you idiot. Like, why are you trying? They obviously are going to beat us. It was like, dude, we're only 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah. I think I know it won't fix a Horde superiority on servers, but I feel like mercenary mode it'll also reinvigorate like people. I feel like there'll be the mixing of the two mentalities could be really, really good. It could be good. It could be a good experiment. I don't know.
I honestly think it's bullshit, but I agree it's the only way to really fix it for the
I think it's
people.
bullshit. I think it shouldn't be this way, right? I wish it wasn't this way. I was just, I'm just trying to think like Horde Alliance transfers to me just aren't going to work.
You need to make Alliance more enticing to Horde.
It might work a little bit. If Alliance had Blood Fury, something like Blood Fury, I think it'd work.
Okay, then give Alliance Blood Fury and allow free transfers. How about that?
Will of the Forsaken. Will of the Forsaken.
They do balance the racials going into Wrath.
Changes.
And they give Alliance humans
every man for themselves.
Which is Will of the Forsaken. Yeah.
Which is basically considered the best racial then at that point because it's a free trinket. And it was so good that it did tip the scales back towards Alliance. And I imagine for PvP at least it probably will again. I don't know. It'll help for sure.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for that day. All right, guys. Well, we're going to end it out there. And we would love to hear your ideas. And if you want to send those to us, you can do so on Twitter. You could follow us at WC Reloaded, or you could follow the Mash Those Buttons Network at the Mash Network. If you have a long idea and it won't fit on Twitter, send your emails to wcrpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to join our Discord, it's mash.gg/Discord. If you'd like to check out any of the other shows on the network, you should go to mashthosebuttons.com. There's a lot of good shows about Star Wars shows. There's Apex Legends shows. There's other retail WoW shows. There's a really good lore show. If you're into lore, you should just check it out. There's a lot of shows that you might like. How can you up the show? You can tell your friends about the show. You can tell your guild about the show. That's possibly, it used to be 40 people. Now it's maybe 25, but it's a lot of people that could listen. So that could help us out. You can leave us reviews on iTunes or on warcraftradio.com/directory.
You guys are killing it, by the way. Great on the reviews. Love you all.
Yes, you guys are killing it. Thank you so much. That warms our hearts. All right. Guys, it's been a good show. I'm kind of sad at the end here because I just want everything to work out right, and it just doesn't seem like there's a good answer that's going to make everybody happy, and that bums me out. But we'll hope for the best, Ayle, where can we find you?
You can find me streaming on Twitch every day at twitch.tv/Ayle Gaming. As well, I play on Scarum and a little bit on White Mane, but maybe more if this PvP
You
system.
love White
continues to-
Mane.
I do. I actually do. It's a lot of fun. It's so different to be in a world where danger exists. It is.
Is a possibility.
As much as it sucks to get ganked, I would rather have that than to have.
Dude,
whatever.
Ayle, so
I wasn't for damn Melderon.
our
that?
5-man heroic group just murders Horde. Like, because we have a lot of like older people that have kids and them stuff, and they're like, hey, I need 5 before we do this. I need 10 before we do this. We're like, okay, we'll just wait. And we just murder Horde outside at the summoning stones, and we
Like, we're
take
gonna
no
change
prisoners.
the narrative.
Yeah.
We're
That's
gonna
not-
change the narrative. Alliance are going to kill the Horde.
But what did you say to Melderon?
Oh, I just said stupid sexy Melderon has me stuck on Horde with him.
Oh yeah, well, what can I say?
He is definitely sexy. Well, where can we find your sexy self,
Me?
Melderon?
I haven't made content in a while. It's because I've been playing like an absolute animal. But I will. Def Camp Melderon TV. It's Def Camp DEFCAMP and %MELDERON TV on YouTube. Twitch.tv/DefCamp. My brother streams, and hopefully I'll be putting out a video next week. That's my plan. I just want to kind of go over like what's been going on, like how I've been doing, what I think of the game so far, what it was like to get the 70, what are my thoughts on Classic Fresh. So hopefully just kind of a recap, get myself back in the swing of things, because I really do miss making content, but I put in the game first. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No
Yeah.
time right
And definitely check out that YouTube, especially if you are a shaman, because he has detailed guides with timestamps. I mean, you should definitely check him out. If you want to play shaman to the absolute max, check it out. Mel, where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter. Probably not, but you can try. On @MelOverwatch. You can find me on White Mane @MelArena. And that's about it.
All right. And you can find me on Twitter @Blazin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. You can also catch me streaming our raids on Tuesdays and Thursdays at twitch.tv/BlazinBob. Thank you guys so much for your time. We're going to get out of here, and we miss Ryan, but it was a good show.
Arguably better without Ryan. I'm just saying.
Oh,
It's good to spice things up a bit, right?
always, always. All right,
Big
guys.
Brother has to come back soon.
Take it easy.